Well, you're not working for Darth Vader, but you're a stormtrooper.
As some of you know, I've been documenting The View for over 4 years now, but specifically Sunny Hostin on the bigger controversy she's been involved with. And I see it as a big kind of view of what's happening to liberals on the very far left in America, that she demonstrates they're losing, they have no argument, and they're continuing to lose. And now she's probably going to lose her job. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Make sure you leave a comment below. Give us a little like, ding. This is the very beginning of Sunny Hostin's career.
You don't need me to reintroduce her. Sunny Hostin, you know who she is.
Sunny Hostin from CNN is said to be the frontrunner. Reportedly, she has already negotiated with CNN to be able to do The View and CNN.
Once you start changing your story, it's very difficult to put you on the witness stand.
Once you start changing your story, it's very difficult to put you on the witness stand and very difficult to put you on The View, because Sunny Hostin has been consistently wrong for every year and every show that she's been on The View. Very hard. She's stubborn. Why should The View continue to reward her with only wrong opinions? I believe she's on her way out. There's always rumors from within the ABC executives that they're about to cut her. But here's what happened when she first joined the show. This is the welcome that she gave to Elisa Farrah Griffin.
I was asked to serve in the Trump White House in April of 2020.
You join in April 2020. That's like 4 years in. We know who he was. How do you do that?
So I did.
Right?
I mean, no, it's
I'm
a
sure
fair
people,
point.
It's a fair question. I mean, you know who this person is.
Yeah.
He's the person that is grab him by the you-know-what.
Well,
and you're working for him.
I didn't have any illusions about who the president was. So I should go back further. I was Vice President Pence's press secretary for 2 years. So I was tangentially working with the Trump White House, different building, but serving a very different man.
Well, you're not working for Darth Vader, but you're a stormtrooper.
Welcome to the show, Elisa. You're a stormtrooper. And by the way, that is one of the worst insults you can say, basically saying she's complicit with being a totalitarian, and that it reflects poorly on Sunny Hostin, because you're going to see her completely lose her ability to judge others by the end of this show, when it's revealed that her family were slave owners.
If you remain in the Republican Party, given what you've seen, given what you know, are you complicit? And is it better to leave the party? You certainly were complicit. You worked there.
Well, and real quick, I'd say, Sunny, wouldn't you rather have someone like Anna trying to reform the party from within? Like, there's going to be a Republican Party, whether you want there to be or not. So wouldn't you want someone who's sober-minded and sound and more aligned with you?
I don't think it's an effective strategy.
Well, we need two robust parties.
But the biggest thing was her opening statement, which is you're complicit with your party. And so I will go along with her for the moment and say that she's complicit with the Democrat Party by her standards. That's something she set up. That means that she's complicit with Gavin Newsom for the California fires, the party, that is. She's complicit with Joe Biden for open borders and all of the crime and fallout that came from those illegals that could be setting fires, but certainly have attacked innocent U.S. citizens and committed crimes. She's complicit. So I'm only saying, if you're going to be complicit with your party, I don't see why she would feel more comfortable being complicit with the Democrats have done versus being complicit with what the Republicans have done. But I'm welcome to use her standard, because by her own standard, she, being complicit, is more of a stormtrooper than any Republican.
What scares me, Alyssa, is that you are incapable of defending a man that you worked for, that you know
not,
of.
Oh, no. Why don't you ask me a question
you're saying
rather
that you
than...
need to hear.
I did ask you a question.
She did.
I had a point I wanted to
and you
make.
said that you needed to hear more from him. And I don't need to hear more from Pence for several reasons. Because when I lived in Indy...
Well, you just accused me of something, so why don't you let me actually answer? You're not going to vote for a Republican ever.
No, I'm gonna finish what I'm gonna say.
You defended Cornel West yesterday, who would destroy our country, though.
He also was a parrot for Trump.
Don't make this personal. Let's hear.
He spearheaded the Trump.
Sunny likes to make it personal with me, so we'll just... Are you going to give me a chance to answer?
Speaking the truth. Spearheading Trump's COVID-19 agenda of downplaying the virus.
This is not what the
then.
show is about. This is Barbara
It's
Walters'
everybody's-
legacy.
it's
Let a
everybody's
woman
view.
speak.
It's everybody's
It's everybody's view. No, it's Sunny Hostin's view.
And Pence did not
Well,
quarantine.
Joy, you asked her
Pence
not-
did not
you didn't
quarantine
ask her to defend.
himself.
You said, why would someone vote
Are
for
you just going to keep
Yes.
going, or am I going to get
yes, because I'm
But I
not
want to
finished.
answer Joy's
my
question.
question.
You know what?
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I need to go to break right
Well,
now.
let me.
Maybe.
You know your show's a failure when Whoopi announces that they need to go to break and the audience applauds. Just think about that for a second. The audience is cheering to get to watch commercials instead of The View. That's why Sunny Hostin makes for bad entertainment. And even Elisa Farrah Griffin had the audience on her side, which to me, how well you run a room in mass media, who comes on your side, is very interesting to me, the why. Elisa Farrah Griffin brought up Barbara Walters, saying this is not the debate show that Barbara Walters started when Sunny Hostin's just reading a card for 15 minutes. And the audience applauded that specific line. That is, they want Sunny to take a break, to have to go back and forth and actually engage ideas and not just read a card, which she does all the time when she does her rant. She prepares a card and just reads, because I don't know if she even has the arguments in her own mind.
White Republican suburban women are now going to vote Republican.
Why?
It's almost like roaches voting for Raid, right?
I think that's
they're voting.
No, it's
they're
insulting
voting
to the voter.
they're voting
real quick,
against their own self-interest. Do
talk
they
on
want to
this
live
show?
in Gilead?
Okay,
do they
so do
want
we
to
love
be in the hands?
Do we love
tail?
democracy or not? Because just saying that it's insulting to the voter. People make up decisions on what's right for their family. Last
about
week you
that.
called white Republican women cockroaches.
Actually, I didn't. And
Or you said they're acting like cockroaches.
I used in a similar.
That rhetoric.
Let me answer that.
metaphor.
I used a
But that's-
metaphor.
but that's-
Here's what I'm going to ask you all
But I
to do.
need
Here's what I'm going to
respond.
ask you to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to tone it down a bit because I
Yeah.
can't hear anything.
Let
No
me
one
respond,
can hear what's being
but she
said.
just said I called white women roaches.
Go ahead
which
and
my mother's a
respond.
white woman, so
Go
I
ahead and
wouldn't say
respond.
that.
Go ahead and respond.
Second of all, what I used was a metaphor, really more in a simile.
A simile.
And I said, white women, Republicans, I just read a poll that the suburbans are now voting Republican. That is like roaches voting for Raid.
Your roaches and your stormtroopers. Do those similes, as she put it, have anything in common? Yeah, they're both horrific, totalitarian insults to make. Now, and she specifically calls out white women and then hides behind them. My mom's a white woman. That's like, hey, I have lots of white friends. Doesn't work. The audience, certainly half of America is insulted now. That was all pre-election. Now, post-election, is she calling half of the of America's, the white women of America that voted for Trump, that they're cockroaches and stormtroopers? That's what it sounds like. And that's why I believe she has insulted a huge percentage of the ABC audience. And that's not going to stand.
This case is not taking Donald Trump down. And I say that for a couple reasons.
How do you know that?
There was, well, just real quick, there was no conspiracy charge, which a lot of folks were looking to see
That
if
was
there
a
was.
harder charge to prove.
Every legal expert I've talked to has said most likely a fine and probation if he's even
I'll tell you
convicted.
why you're wrong as
But
this legal expert. That is wrong. And I will
He's
tell
not
you,
going to jail over
I will
this.
tell you
He's not
why-
going to jail
I
over
will tell
this.
you why you're wrong. Prosecutors are not only in the business of prosecuting crimes, we're in the business of sending out a message. If you let the President of the United States be found guilty of 1 to 34 counts, even if they're misdemeanors, and he gets to go home scot-free, you're sending
It's
a
not
message.
scot-free. We're
to
just
the-
saying it's going to be a
you're
fine and
sending
probation.
A message
It won't be
to the
serving time.
country.
Correct.
And so that was a year ago of Sunny predicting where it would go. And she claimed she was a legal expert, which is why Trump would be in jail. And she disregarded Elisa's and everyone else's claims against her position because we're not legal experts. Lo and behold, she was wrong across the board. And she's a legal expert. I'm a barely literate comic book artist, and I got it right. And Sunny Hostin, legal expert, got it wrong on all 34 counts. Said one thing they're not going to do is, given those charges, they're not going to let him off. And that's exactly what they did. They actually charged Trump, but his actual, the statement that they made in that Merchant trial, they said that in his conviction, he didn't have to do anything. No fine, no jail time, nothing. They made it clear that it was nothing, which means she's totally wrong. Now here's Sunny Hostin This is kind of, to me, the summary of her career and the biggest hinge on her career. If she loses her job, this is where it's going to happen. It's because she went after white people claiming that, and very pro reparations over the slavery issue. Here's Gutfeld reintroducing her statement when she finds out that her relatives were slave owners. That makes her complicit.
For context, Sonny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice. Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe. Here's how she took the news. Roll it.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
Your husband and you do have shared roots, and now that your husband is up on the largest RICO case in New York history, maybe you have other roots in common. Sunny Hostin learned, and so suddenly she changes her opinion and changes her tone, because I just want to happen if reparations happen. Does the white half of Sunny have to pay Does the white half of Sunny have to pay reparations to the black half of Sunny? Is that how this is going to work? This is ridiculous. She's ridiculous. Her whole career is ridiculous. When she's on the air and arguing, because she will not engage in debate, she just spews. When that happens, the audience looks forward to watching commercials instead of The View. Thanks for watching. Check out another video coming up right here. I'm Doug in Exile.